Up to say a few words and partake in Q&A. Kerri, okay. Yeah.
My name's Kerri. You guys met me.
Hi, Kerri.
If you guys have any questions, I was just going to say that it's just really hard for me to be here. It's hard for me to watch this film because of a young person. When I made this film, and I don't think I really understood the gravity under which I was undertaking such a feat. And I can't. It's almost hard to process that this really happened to this woman. And to think that she'd be 3 years older than me. It's like I forgot to sit.
Breathe.
It's just a really wonderful thing to celebrate her birthday. And I think that during the process of making this film, to meet her chosen family, which is her friends, that I saw earlier tonight at the Common Tavern, and to see that they're still supporting me, many of whom couldn't make it here tonight because of the emotional roller coaster that it was to be here. It's just hard to process this, honestly. And I think back at the time, I was more concerned about the movie critics and the people that you didn't put in this and you didn't put in that, you didn't do this, you didn't do that. But I'm sitting here now thinking, like, who gives a shit about that? Because it's really about this woman who's not here today, but her spirit lives on, and I can't, I'm so blessed to be back in a city that granted me such a fortune, to be able to be part of these people's lives that suffered such a loss, and they were at such a high, such a beautiful point in their young lives, to suffer something so obtuse and so egregious, that I don't think I could have written it in such a more, a way that is so devastating, but yet so positive that people still care. And again, I apologize for being so emotional. It's very hard to sit here, and because I experienced the making of this film in my own, I didn't know this woman, but now I'm being in this city, and it's just an amazing thing. And I really want to wish Mia happy birthday, and I honor you, and I'm just so humbled again to be a part of her friends and her chosen family. It was quite a journey. And I hope to somehow make that into another film, because I don't know why I'm even here. I didn't know Mia. I never met her. I just knew that this person couldn't be out there and to live a free life. I knew that was not going to be the way that it was going to go down. There's no way that Mia Zapata was going to go down like that. The kid was 10 years, 20 years, and here we are 20 years later. And now I know it just doesn't bring me closure. It just brings answers. There's no closure. Perhaps, again, I want to make this a joyful thing. We still have bands. We're going to have a little celebration and a toast for Mia. But it just brings to the fore the life we live in. It's to cherish it every day, I suppose. There aren't any answers, and I don't even know why I'm here. I'm just humbled and honored to be here. Just hard, I guess. Anyway, does anybody have any questions? Because I don't want to be up here anymore. Does you guys have questions or? we suffer individually, we all do, but to suffer this kind of loss, I don't know, perhaps some of you in this room have suffered that kind of loss. I haven't. I was just filming the loss of the people that suffered that loss, and it was palpable. And it's still palpable to this day, 12, 14, 20 years later, from the time that I started to the time that it's now, 20 years later, it's still very palpable. And sadly, this is not a unique story. It's not a unique story, you know. So, but again, Jackie, we're going to bring it to a positive. It should be positive, but again, I apologize for this. It's just hard. It's just so hard for me to watch this film. You know, I could have done this. I should have done that. I wish I had done this. I wish I had done that. But I also, the one thing that I set out to do before I knew it was going to be a short film, and I just really wanted to get the answers. I wanted to know who did this and why did you do this? How did this happen? And after finding out those things, it kind of makes it all the more harder. It kind of makes it all the more worse to sit in front of people and interview these people. It's not going to change the course of their lives at all. So, it's, again, it's just a cool experience to be here, but I'd rather not be here under these guys. I'd rather be sitting there watching Mia perform. Yes, that's pretty much it. Does anybody have anything else to say? We could do bands and singing and dancing and drinking and crazy, or we could cry all night. I mean, I don't know what you guys want to do.
We're going to music.
Let's do the music. Should we do music and party and dance and take our tops off? Oh, well, okay, I have a very cool person who I want to introduce to you guys. When I started doing this film, nobody wanted to talk, and you know, 'cause the person was still out there, and again, I was just out of the ovarian cancer, and you know, again, I don't even know how he found out, you know, Mia, but it was like, I knew I had to be here, and I met Andy Kessler, the guitar player, who's Mia's best friend, and people had said, talk to this person, talk to that person. Well, one of the first people that I was able to meet and to interview was this really great young lady who was a bass player, knew Bitch, knew Mia, was when Mia first got into town from Antioch and Yellow Springs, Ohio, and she just had these stories that were so captivating to me. And I thought that it would be paramount to invite that kind of energy here instead of what I'm presenting to you right now, which is like crying and sorrow and like depravity. But it's more about fun and love and about what the life that this woman led, which I was hoping that Mia would not be defined by July 7th, which is her birthday today, August 25th. Let's celebrate that. And I want to introduce this really wonderful girl, one of the first people that I interviewed, Leah Gold, an amazing artist, musician, all around wonderful spirit, who actually knew Mia very, very well. And Jesse and I were captivated by her and what she had to say from her personal encounters, but her life and how she lived it which was, I think, kind of synonymous to how I think Mia would still live her life today. So, Leah, are you out there amongst these bright lights? Are you here?
Yeah.
You're here?
Yep.
She's a beautiful girl, and I love her dearly, and I'd like to just give her a big hug and let her be the girl she is. I just would like her to share a couple of stories if she could, because she's changed the course of my life.
Okay. I've seen this and I've blubbered. And so as soon as I saw the point that I needed to go, because I wanted to be more positive and tell some funny stories. And if I would have seen the rest of it again, I couldn't have kept my shit together. So that's about. With that said, I wrote just some memories down, and I'm gonna look at them. And there's a couple that stand out. I know you were talking about like the story of meeting her. That was pretty fun. I was younger than most of those guys. I had a fake ID. I was 8 years younger than Mia, and a few years younger than Stephanie Sargent. Was anybody here around then? Yeah? Stephanie was the first guitarist for a 7-year bitch, and she was one of my good buddies, and she got me my first fake ID, actually, and we went to the Comet with it, and it was right before she turned 21, and so she was 20 and I was 15, and I got in and she didn't. So pissed off. And anyway, so Stephanie introduced me to Mia, and we were in the U District, hanging out on the Ave, and we were, let's see, in like a coffee place, and Stephanie was saying, oh, my friend Mia, she just moved into town with this band. Actually, I think there were a few bands, Big Brown House, the Gits, DC Beggars, all moved in to Seattle at the same time. And so she was really talking at the Storm about how great Mia's band was, and she was starting to date Matt, and she was like, yeah, she's kind of confused right now. She doesn't really know the city very well, but she's on her way to meet us. And so she gets in the door, and this nice sort of like Jazz Joplin husky voice, and, hi, how's it going? Great, well, I have to go get something. And I feel like I remembered cigarettes, but I don't remember Mia smoking, so it must have been something else. So she asked where she could go find the store, and Stephanie said, it's that way. And Mia went out the door and went that way, and Stephanie was like, shit, had to go out and find Mia, figure out her Seattle, the lay of the city. One thing that I was recalling was that when I was watching the film this time, it was so enjoyable to see that first hour, and like know all the lyrics to all the songs, and that really what she felt like was this sort of raw energy that was too big for even her body. I don't know if you've ever had a friend like that. She's one of a few that I've had that seemed like her spirit should have been in 5 bodies, but it was in one that could barely contain it. And that's why it was so fun to see her dance and express herself, because when she was making a point, she was like, her arms were all over the place, and her ideas were much bigger, than she could say with her mouth. It was very cool. And she had, I don't know, I guess you would call it a temper. To me, it's just outspoken. Of course. You say what's on your mind. And one of my favorite stories of her telling someone what was on her mind, I feel like I should stand, actually. Does anybody remember the off-ramp?
Yes. Yeah.
There was this show there, the Fastbacks played. And it was the Fastbacks, someone else, and Stomach Pump. Does anybody know who that is? Stomach Pump was comprised of Duff McKagan on bass guitar, and And this guy, Walter, who had been in a lot of grunge bands, he may have been in, like, I don't know. Anyway, he was in a lot of grunge bands. Everyone knew him. And so Duff had come back to Seattle, and Guns N' Roses, I think, were still kind of big back then. And they were playing this, so after Fastbacks, okay, it was completely packed, wall-to-wall people, everyone jumping up and down. It was awesome, and Mia was there, a lot of the Gits members were there, Big Brown House, the whole Rat House, basically, scene was there, supporting, the band and just enjoying ourselves. And after the Fastbacks ended, a few people stuck around, a few people left, actually, but most of the people stuck around for the second band. When Stomach Pump came on, after the first song, everyone left except for like 10 people. And they were this horrible glam band with these two women who I remember seeing in the bathroom, and they just looked so bitchy. They just had this weird, snaky feel about them. And when they got up on stage, they just looked like snakes. And their whole presence on stage was to ride around the guys with their instruments. And I'm all for like sexy, but this was just disgusting. And it looked like it was supposed to make us want them or want to be something like what they, yeah, anyway. So they were gross. Music was bad, the girls were gross, and it was just like, what the fuck is Duff up there for? And so the whole floor cleared out except for Mia. And she was pretty drunk. And she was like pacing around, watching them, and this guy's, up on stage, leading with his pelvis, and she starts yelling, "You suck!" And he's like, he's kind of thrown off by her, and she gets closer to the stage. They're in mid-song, and she yells it again. And he's like, "What? I can't hear you," as if he couldn't hear her. And then she takes a big swill of her beer. She's like, "Come here." And he gets closer. She spits it on his face. And he's like, "God damn it!" And he, just as he was about to jump into the not crowd, friends, Mia's friends. And he looks up, and the only people left are like 10 of Mia's friends. They're like, don't even talk to me. There was Steve, I remember. There was Matt. There was Andy. There was Julian doing the sound, and we're all like, nuh-uh. Yeah.
Oh, that was awesome.
Gits cassette. Yeah, and she was so proud of it too. It's like, look, you have to see our new, it's got 10 songs on it, or however many. Yeah, and we went to the rat house, and she set me up in her room with a nice little nest, and they made me beans. And, yeah, when I woke up, her and Robert had things to do. But, yeah, those are my 2 favorite stories.
You guys gotta stick around for some music. Let's have some music. Leah, I love you. Be this part forever. So anybody want anything? Drinks? Steak? Lots of drinks? I need to get some drinks. Guys, this is my great friend Jackie. She's from New Zealand and wow. And she fell in love with Mia. She worked at this gym that I went to, and where I listened to Mia all the time. And I said, hey, I did this film, and maybe like the film that I did this film was several years ago. And then she watched this film. She was, oh my God, I love Mia. She fell in love with Mia. And then we embarked on a little journey. And she's the one who made this happen. So she
awesome.
and Mike here, Los Angelino, well, not born and raised, but from LA now. And this is their rendition of Second Skin, and then they're going to play another whiskey. And I'm just really honored, and again, so thrilled to have you guys here. And it's about having fun and celebrating in life. Jackie.
Yeah, this is
Is
a
it
birthday.
It's a birthday, so let's have fun and get joy.
I just want to say thanks to Kerri for making this movie, for making Mia touch my life, and I'm sure so many others. You know, you brought her to more people. You know, I came from the other side of the world and kind of obsessed with this woman. You know, so it's awesome. I want to thank Leah for talking and being amazing and housing me and for sharing those stories. They were amazing. It was so nice to hear your insight from you. And thank you, Mike, for coming here and doing these songs. And this may not go that great, but I'm going to try it anyway.
Whoa. Yay.
I've thought about it, hell, about a million times. It takes all my strength just to keep me calm. But I have to tell myself it's better just to breathe. Holding in inside will only help to do me in. Each time I close my eyes, I see another change. It's one I can't forget, something I cannot break out of. I need a second skin, something something to hold me up. I can get this whole lot of myself right back there. Every drop that's left in me, I need a second skin, something I cannot break out of. I just tell myself, girl, just let it breathe. It's a calmness I'm always searching for. But the dirt gets heavier, it falls above my head, seeping under my feet. It just keeps on getting deeper. I need a second skin. I need a chance to give. I want the chance to give every drop that's left in me. I need a second skin, something I cannot break out of. Though no one ever said it'd be easy, it's still one thing to deny. The choice that comes between your willingness to survive.
Stand up against.
Twisting with me. That second strength. I've got that second skin. I've got that chance to give. I've got the only way that I know how to live with it. I need a second skin. I need a chance to give. I've got that second skin. Something I can never break free of. It was a casino. You walk in with another headache, I can tell by the lines on your face. You seem to think if you just remove the problem, the answers are what will come next. Another shot of whiskey and maybe I'll be ready for what's still crying in your head. Never thinking that all the good times are what walks in the bad. I don't know why we compromise ourselves. I thought it was common understanding. With all I tried to help with, tell me, do I go end up empty-handed? Another cup of beers while I sit here at the bar, and maybe I'll get me some rest. Don't know why all the good times have to walk in with bad.
if I'm only
To get past you, another shot of whiskey and that's about the only way I can listen anymore.
all the good times, one walked in the back.
It's like the soda haze, you brandish it so proud. I wonder if you talk what you feel, or is it the way you got it closed in your eyes? You walk in with 1,000 heads, I can see it written all across your face. You seem to think if you just remove the problem, the answers are what will come next. Another shot of whiskey and that's about the only way I can listen anymore. You never seem at all the good times, I walk in with bad. My life.